Hello guys and welcome to another Chelsea video of mine, and today I'm going to give my tactical knowledge into how I think Chelsea can get top four at the end of the season, and say how I think the club can line up in able to beat the teams we need to beat to get there and win the Europa League. And first up, I think the key thing before I go into any tactics is the club need to pull together. I think the club need to tell the players, need to tell the team, Sarri's staying where he is till the end of the season, and then if things aren't going their way, maybe they'll reconsider. But regardless, the club need to pull in the same direction. I personally don't think Sarri's lost the dressing room. I think the dressing room are firmly behind him. But I know there are people who don't agree with me on that. That's fair enough. That's fine. I mean, no one can truly know unless they work in the club. And I mean, I doubt anyone who works in the club will be commenting on me. But if they do, please enlighten me. Regardless, I think Sarri, what's impressed me most about Sarri, a coach who's been in the game for so long, has been his ability to change at Chelsea. After the City game, he went to 4-2-3-1. He was more willing to go to it when we were down in games. And in general, I feel his man management has been good. But I think there's even more he can do. You know, I think what I'm going to suggest for him is going to help with the youth development. It'll get fans off his back for not playing youth, which is great. And I think it will just help us basically win more games. So what I would suggest for Sarri is, I think the big games, and we've got two left in the Prem, and yes, we haven't won a Prem away game, but I think there's been a bit of a turning point since the City 6-0. We played City at Wembley, we played Tottenham at home, did well against both of them. One unlucky to win, one we obviously did win. And what I would do is line up in a very similar way to the way he did in both of those games. And I'm keeping the back four the same in all these shapes, broadly speaking, you know, Emerson, Rudiger, Luiz, Christensen, any one of those three, any two of those three, and Azpilicueta, obviously rotate a bit of that back four for Europa League games, but it doesn't matter. So against Prem top six teams, I think he sticks with the 4-3-3. I think he lets the Oppo have the ball as much as they want, and he played Kante, Jorginho, and one of Barkley and Kovacic in quite a sort of rigid 4-3-3, with Kante shepherding Jorginho, and a forward three, important here, of Hazard, Giroud, or Higuain. I actually think at the moment Giroud is playing better, and Pedro. So very experienced. Obviously, you can bring on Willian, bring on Cho, bring on Loftus-Cheek, whatever. But I think when we aren't on the ball as much, we can play a Barkley or a Kova who have the passing ability, but perhaps not the driving runs that I think can be provided by others. But then I think if Chelsea want top four, where we're having real sort of problems is against the smaller sides. And I think for the smaller teams, we're going to have to change the way we play. And I think firstly, in this sort of away games in the Prem, regardless, I think we go 4-2-3-1 in a much more sort of formal way in all these games that aren't where we have more of the ball than the opposition. I think when we have that ball, we need more impetus in the final third. And I think our defensive phase has been okay. Our midfield has been okay when we played with the two in midfield. So, you know, you look at Everton, for instance, Wolves. We didn't look like conceding when we went to midfield two. So I wouldn't worry about that. So what I would do is, in the Prem away games, I think it is vital that we start Ruben Loftus-Cheek as central attacking midfielder. No option. His driving runs would add so much to that attacking play, but he's also got the pace to head back, help more in the defence when we do play tricky opposition. But I think in order to break down teams, he would be a much better option than Barkley or Kova. Not that I dislike either of the two. I just think for the style we want to play, Loftus has to be on the field. So I'd play Kante and Jorginho in a double pivot. I'd play Loftus-Cheek a little bit further forward, then Hazard and a either Willian or Cho. I mean, I don't mind either way. And Higuain, to be honest, I think that would be more than enough to have the attacking impetus to finish. Higuain has shown in away games when we've had the ball, he can finish crosses, he can sort games out if you create enough for him. And if we can, he, in games where we do need some defence, like it's not going to be completely one-sided, they're not going to park the bus. I think Loftus-Cheek driving forward, two wingers, and creating chance after chance for Higuain, we will win games. That's for sure. Yes, our defence has to stay up, but I feel we'll win games. Where also I think we've had problems recently, look at the Wolves game, is against sort of games at home where teams have not really come out and tried to play us. Wolves at Stamford Bridge, with respect to them, they didn't really come out, and we really, really struggled to break them down. And while I think Loftus-Cheek would fit perfectly well in that side, I think an even better solution would be in a number 10 role to actually not even put a converted central midfielder and actually put in Hazard or Willian there. I think we can take out a formal centre midfielder and play Kante and Jorginho in the double pivot again. I think they're more than able to do that. I think they... Sarri mentions the fact that Jorginho cannot play in a midfield too. I'm not so sure about that. He played there perfectly well for Italy in their Euro qualifier alongside Verratti. And I personally think Kante, while a different player, is as good as Verratti is. And I think once we got those two in midfield, ahead of them, all converted wingers are attacking players. So my lineup for this would be Hazard as just sort of cam, but maybe more of a shadow striker than a cam. And then have Hudson-Odoi on the left, no doubts about it, in these Prem home games, as a lot have been suggesting. And then either Willian or Pedro. And for me, either Giroud or Higuain up front, who can just finish if we create chance after chance after chance. I think if a team is going to come to Stamford Bridge, play our 4-3-3, park the bus, take a point, I think there's no point in playing a third centre midfielder. I don't see what the gain is. So... And if we do have defensive problems, we can always bring on Loftus-Cheek and say, too difficult, but we gave it a go, and we're not going to sit back and let them park the bus. So I just think it's a matter of breaking it down. And Sarri's adapted into these shapes in games since that drubbing at Man City. And I think if he can start with these games, so sort of that top six lineup against Liverpool at Anfield, United at Old Trafford, and then that Premier League away lineup with a bit more of a centre mid in that number 10 role, Loftus-Cheek, in the Prem away games, perhaps some Europa League games, and then the Premiership home game, the home game against Slavia Prague. I think two centre mids, two sort of thoroughbred centre mids, more than enough. And I think we'll be able to win games. We won't win every game, and I don't think there needs to be a meltdown if we don't. But I think we'll win enough games to make top four if we make those personnel changes, basically. And I think if we do and we manage Europa League well, I think any one of these lineups could even go pretty far in Europa League. So I think to give us the best chance of top four, and I think a chance Sarri definitely deserves, we should play those shapes, and I think we'll have a good chance. I think Arsenal or United will mess up, and we'll have a chance of getting in there. Anyway, guys, that ends my sort of tactical sort of ideas. Do comment, tell me what you think. If I'm talking gibberish, if you think I'm wrong, please say. I won't be offended. I want to have debate. That's why I do these videos. And what's going to be quite cool is Josh is going to do a similar one for Man United. So what United need to do to get top four. Perhaps even win the Champions League, I suppose. Not that I think they will. And one of us will do one on Arsenal and what we think they need to do to make top four. But Chelsea's my area of expertise, and I've given where I think Sarri can sort of make sure we have the strongest levels to get to that level, the best teams on the field and the best benches. And if you guys got anything else you can suggest, do drop it in the comments. So like, comment and subscribe, guys. Have a good day. Have a good week. Hope you enjoyed the international break. I actually have on this occasion. I had a fantastic time at the France against Iceland game. Really, really good. And see you very soon.